What up, baby? It's your boy, the ATX Junior, back with another video, and welcome to the Oklahoma Overview. Every Sunday, we're gonna be pulling these out while the season going on. Pretty much, it's just gonna be a reaction of the game, a little breakdown of the stats. You know what I liked, what I didn't like, positives and negatives, so on. So as you can see, still not in the Oklahoma Corona. We still not at home right now, but we still got to get this content out regardless. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, of course. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Donate down below. I have my links to Cash App, Venmo. What else? Yeah, I don't know. You'll see it down below. So if you feeling happy, if you feeling like a good person today, make sure you go ahead and donate below. But anyways, man, so let's go ahead and get into this. This is gonna be a pretty long video. So I don't have any of my editing equipment. I don't have Adobe. I don't have anything right now. So it's straight from me to the phone to YouTube. So y'all bear with me, man. Y'all have patience. I hope y'all can respect the grind, okay? Because that's what we here for. That's what we here for. We Oklahoma, baby. Anyways, before I get into the game, though, I wanted to shout out Dewey Selmon, man. Legend, Oklahoma legend, man. Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, Orange Bowl Hall of Famer, and just indicted into the College Football Hall of Fame. First team All-American in 74, 75, man. You guys cannot let the legends die, man. We have to respect the legends. We have to address the legends. And whenever we have the opportunity, like they did on Friday night, to respect one, to honor one, we have to put that message out there as the Oklahoma community. I mean, there would be no Oklahoma today if it wasn't for these men. So give it up for them, man. Round of applause. Dewey Selmon, man. Absolute legend. Salute to you. I respect you. Thank you for everything that you've done for the Oklahoma community. And yeah, man, let's get into this game, man. So first thing I wanted to start off with is defense. Why not? I mean, it was damn near flawless, honestly. I mean, I'm trying to think of it. There were no negatives in this defense. I mean, I couldn't think of one. If you can, comment below. But I mean, we're playing Temple, and let me start this breakdown by saying that we're playing Temple. Okay, so don't go talking if you're not an Oklahoma fan and you're watching the videos. I don't need you in the comments talking about, oh, y'all didn't play nobody, blah 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. Getting that out the way right now. We played Temple. All right. Anyways, let's see. So defense, man. So Zach Alley. I feel like Zach Alley called a phenomenal defense, man. Them boys was locked in. Very, very vanilla. You ain't getting no extra toppings. Wasn't no whipped cream on it. Wasn't none of that with it. It's just very, very vanilla, which is what you expect into the Tennessee game. But anyways, great calling, man. Zach Alley. You would think that BV was out there doing that himself. So good, great decision by hiring Mr. Zach Alley, who is my age. Anyways, man. But one thing that I don't know if anybody realized this, but when it comes to that game yesterday or on Friday, the youth, and whenever I say youth, I'm talking about underclassmen, sophomores and freshmen, not red shirt sophomores, sophomores and freshmen. Look at this, man. Sophomores with tackles. We had Kip Lewis, 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Lewis Carter, 4 tackles. Jacoby Johnson, 4 tackles. Sam Omo, 3 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Owen Heineke, 2 tackles. Kobe McKenzie, 1 tackle. Those are sophomores. Let's go into the freshmen. Marcus Strong, 2 tackles, 2 sacks. Jaden Jackson, 1 tackle. Impact player. We cannot go without acknowledging the fact that Jaden Jackson made the most impact on that offensive line. Even if he had 1 tackle credited to him, that man plugged up that line. True freshman, crazy. Let's continue, man. David Stone, 2 tackles. James Nestor, 2 tackles. Michael Boganowski, 1 tackle. Jaden Hartley, Hardy, I'm sorry. He had the interception. Bergen Kajar, 1 tackle. Ashton Sanders, 1 tackle for loss. Jeremiah Newcomb, 1 tackle. Bro, this is our future. This is the future of Oklahoma. And them boys went out there and did their thing, man. So salute to y'all. We're going in the right path. But I couldn't talk about the defense without highlighting the fact that we have, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 15 underclassmen that produced, that showed up on that stat sheet on Friday night. You only start 11 players. I mean, come on now. Like, you gotta commend that coaching staff for that, bringing in the right guys. Them boys went out there and balled out. So y'all, a round of applause, man. Y'all did y'all's thing. So let's get into these stats, man. They passed for 126 yards. That's 5 per. Rushed for 96 yards. That's like under 2 yards per carry. My prediction was to keep them under 150 yards passing, which did happen, and in between 50 and 80 yards rushing. So I was dead on when it comes to the prediction of what I expected our defense to do stat-wise when it comes to what they allowed. But man, we got 9 tackles for loss. 5 of those were from underclassmen. We have 6 sacks. 2 of those were from one man. Freshman, Marcus Strong. Man, great game, man. We had 27 total players with tackles, man. 27 total players with tackles this game. You're not going to hear this stuff anywhere. This is the stuff that gets ignored. This is the stuff that doesn't seem like, matters as much. But man, when I was doing my research, look at the research, by the way. This is the first page. But man, this is great stuff, man. 27 players with tackles. 4 out of 13 on third down. Man, them boys weren't doing nothing. They were not moving that ball. They did not have no big plays. I think their biggest pass yard might have been a 20-yarder. Who knows? I predicted the game to be 52-6. What was it, like 51-3 or something like that? I don't know. It was very close to my prediction, though. But outside of the yardage or the yards allowed, and then the overall score, I was pretty accurate on those 2. But outside of that, nothing. But let's continue, man. Danny Studsman, man. I mean, if you watch that game, you would think that Danny had a quiet game. You would think that, man, you wouldn't think that he led the freaking team in tackles on Friday night. Led the team, 6 total tackles, the most on the team, obviously, and such a quiet game. And that, to me, what that means to me is, if you think about like last year or the year before, you couldn't go without noticing Danny Studsman, which means when he was off the field, you couldn't go without noticing that he was off the field. This man was damn near invisible last game on Friday night. You didn't notice that he was in the game, and you didn't notice when he was out the game. You know what I call that? I call that growth, baby. That's what we need. That's what I like to see. Let's go. BV, Zach Alley, all the defensive staff, bro. I appreciate it, man, because y'all are really making our dreams come true. Like, we have always wanted that defense to be solidified. And, I mean, Temple Owls, okay? Temple Owls. But you can't not brag about that. It's a great thing. But, man, Danny Studsman, like I said, 6 tackles. He led the team with tackles. Didn't even notice it, which is great news. But, man, let's talk about these turnovers. Let's go. I'm talking about 6 turnovers, 4 fumbles, 2 interceptions. We got to be leading the league in turnovers at this point. And I can't see that not continuing. But, and this topic right here will lead into... This topic will lead into the offense also. But I want to talk about the turnovers and why our offense didn't seem as good when it comes to reading the stats, when in reality it was just the most efficient offense you can have at that point in time, dealing with the scenarios that they were in. So let's talk about it, man. Look, when you talk about turnovers, you talk about good field position. When you talk about good field position, you talk about less stacks on the offensive side. So let's talk about the field position, man. Ethan Downs, he had a forced fumble on Temple's 36. Great field position. Kani Walker, interception, return to Temple's 34. And you know what? I'm going to go deeper into it, okay? First quarter, 9 minutes, 50 seconds in the game. Okay? Yeah, that's how deep we going. We going that deep into this game. Expect that from Oklahoma Overview this year. We going deep into this game. And then what the Wednesdays, we're going to cover everything else outside of it. But anyways, first quarter, 9 minutes, 50 seconds into the game. Or on the clock. Ethan Downs, forced fumble on the Temple's 36. First quarter, 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. Kani Walker, interception. Return to Temple's 34-yard line. Second quarter, 12 minutes, 56 seconds left on the clock. Robert Spears-Jennings, forced fumble on Oklahoma's 45. That's a great punt return right there if I look at that. Second quarter, 1 minute and 14 seconds left into the game. Grayson Halden, forced fumble on Temple's 6-yard line. Yeah, that'll knock them stacks down on offense for sure. Of course, special teams getting in the game. Koenig had that fumble recovered for a touchdown on special teams. That was fourth quarter, 11 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game. Then fourth quarter, man, we got the interception from Jaden Hardy. That was 7 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock. Interception, return to Oklahoma's 30-yard line. It's a turnover. That's just like pretty much they score, kickoff return. That's what that was. But man, very good field position, which leads me into the offense. Now, thinking about this offense and when you're looking at the stats, you're gonna look at Jackson Arnold's stats. You're gonna be like, did he play a good game? Like he did throw 4 touchdowns, but he had like 141 yards. Did he have a good game? I think he had like 175 total yards. But let's get into it, man. So offense. First things first, Seth Littrell. I love it. I love it. Very vanilla, still very vanilla. Obviously, we're not gonna add the whipped cream. We ain't gonna add the toppings until we get to Tennessee. But when I look at that offense, I see an offense that ran the ball. You know what? I might be going ahead of myself. We ain't even gonna get into that. We're gonna start with Burks, man. Deion Burks is who we thought he was. He has put the stamp on it. Okay, there's nothing we need to worry about. As long as he stays healthy, Deion Burks is going to be Deion Burks, which is amazing. Amazing. And that's just Deion Burks. We ain't even talking about everybody else. Also, Bauer Sharp. Oklahoma alert. We have a tight end. We have tight ends, y'all. I don't remember that we had tight ends ever since Lincoln Riley left. Round of applause, Seth Littrell. We knew this going into it. As soon as you got the position, we knew that we were going to use these tight ends. We just didn't know what it was going to look like. Well, Mr. Littrell, I appreciate you. I thank you because, one, you ran the hell out of the ball. And two, you showed us what can happen with tight ends again, man. Such a important piece of this game that for some reason Jeff Lebby did not utilize. I don't understand it. I mean, this is a branch of the same offense that Jeff Lebby runs. A branch of the same offense that Lincoln Riley runs. But the difference is Seth Littrell, just like Lincoln Riley, uses his tight ends. Thank you. That cannot go unnoticed, man. That cannot go unnoticed. So Bauer Sharp, we have a tight end. Thank you. And then another thing I wanted to cover just real quick when it came to the offense. You see that? That's how many turnovers we had. 0. No turnovers. flawless when it comes to that. You know, when you turn the ball over, you lose. So whenever you can go 6-0 in the turnover margin, you better win. you better win. So excuse my language. But anyways, man, total offense overall, passing 158 yards, went 19 for 29 overall. Like I said, man, Jackson Arnold, he had 141 yards on the in the air, 17 for 25, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 5.3 per. I mean, and then if you hear that stat line, without talking about the great field position that man had damn near every snap, you gotta think about it. What's that? 5 out of 6 turnovers led to pretty good field position. I mean, let's say 4, because one of them was returned to the 30, our 30, so that's normal. But we had good field position, and I actually think the one that we started on our own 30, we might have to punt the ball that possession. I don't know, but when you look at that stat line, Jackson Arnold, like I said, 17 for 25, 4 touchdowns, 141 yards, 0 interceptions, 5.3 per. There's only one word that you can use when you're thinking about that, and that's efficient. Efficiency. Like, it don't get no better than that. When you have a guy who you knew you could trust, you knew you could believe in, but it was just never really like proven to you on field, on camera. You know, obviously the Alamo Bowl, I always believed in Jackson Arnold even after the Alamo Bowl, but he had a lot of questions. Well, I think this game, despite the fact that you didn't even throw for 150 yards, has solidified the fact that there's no more questions about Jackson Arnold. Now, Temple Owls. I have to keep saying that with everything I'm saying, because I know that there's going to be a troll listening who is going to act like that's not a point that I'm making here. Temple Owls, we understand this, we know, but this is what you need to see. Like, you can't do nothing but play the person who's in front of you. Like, that's not our fault that we played Temple and dominated. That's what we're supposed to do. And that's exactly what Jackson Arnold did, to the point where we got to see Michael Hawkins. Now, my opinion on Michael Hawkins, man, like, this is why this stuff right here, these stats that you see, that's why all this stuff right here doesn't necessarily mean everything. You have to watch the game. And a lot of analysts, they go by the stat sheet, they go by the box score, and that's strictly what they go off of. When the box score doesn't tell you everything. Like I said, the box score would tell you that, okay, despite the fact that Jackson Arnold went 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, he only had 141 yards. What happened? The box score is not going to tell you what happened. So when I read these stats out of Michael Hawkins, it's not going to tell you the eye test. So anyways, Michael Hawkins, he went 2 for 4, 17 yards, 4.3 yards per, no touchdowns, no interceptions. When I saw that man touch the field, and when I saw the cannon, I'm talking about, it looked like he may have had a gun out there. Like, he may have had a sniper out there. And with the way that the velocity of that ball was leaving his hands, it might not have been his hands. It might have been an actual weapon. And then on top of that, that's just the upper body weapon. But when you see the man take off, the first thing you can think about is Kyler Murray. Oh shit, did I see Kyler? Is that Kyler? What number is he? The dude is talented, man. This is a guy that the announcers were saying it, and I believe every word they said. You have to play this kid. You cannot let him sit on the bench. Man, that's hard to say though, because you need him to sit on the bench because he has to redshirt. He has to know that he's redshirting this year. Is Michael? Comment in the comments. Let me know what y'all think, man. Is Michael Hawkins redshirting this year? Because if he was, why would they put him as number 2 on the depth chart? And if he does redshirt, what does that, like, that helps us out. That gives him that extra year. And then hopefully he'll understand, like, hey, next year, I'm still a backup. I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, when you have so much talent, that's why Oklahoma will be QBU. Regardless, it hasn't died. We're still here. We have quarterback problems, and they're good problems. Okay. But Michael Hawkins, man, promising player. I put two things on here. Put two things under Michael Hawkins. One, promising, because what I saw, the stats are not going to tell you. The man reminded me of Kyler Murray without doing all the great things. Like, just off of the flash, like just the flash of Kyler that I saw. Of course, he's still young. I mean, he was playing high school months ago. But the second thing I have on here, man, is transfer. Now, if he does transfer, that means that Jackson Arnold is doing great. So, is it a bad thing if he transfers? Not necessarily. But this right here under this transfer, I put good old Tebow, man. Good old Tebow. Because you better believe if Michael Hawkins enters that transfer portal, he's going to USC. I don't see a, why wouldn't you go to USC? Like, they're going to need a quarterback next year. They're going to be coached by the best quarterback coach in the nation. They are going to be coached by a quarterback coach who has won 3 Heisman trophies with, if you want to add the runner-up with Jalen. I mean, why would you not want to be added to that list? And don't get me wrong, you can be added to that. You can still be in that list in the Oklahoma uniform, but just not with Jackson Arnold around, which is the problem. Which is why it's a problem, but it's a great problem to have, don't get me wrong. So 2025 and so on, that's going to be a conversation that we're going to be having. So, man, Michael Hawkins, man, like I said, the stats didn't really do it justice when it comes to, the eye test. But, man, that's a promising player right there, man. That's a very promising player. Now, let's get into this rushing, man. So, first thing I wanted to start with the rushing, man, no DeMarco Murray. Obviously, he got a little pat on the wrist for, texting, staying up too late, texting, and calling is, he got a little for that, so it is what it is. But either way, man, Taylor Tatum is now. I was going to say Taylor Tatum is the future. He is the future. But Taylor Tatum is now. Right now. Y'all saw that, man? He is right now. So let's get into it, man. Jackson Arnold, he had 11 carries, 35 yards. 11 carries. Do I want to see that against Temple? No. Is there a reason we saw that against Temple? Yes. And that is going to be a part of the negatives. Okay? So, Jackson Arnold, 11 carries, 34 yards. Okay. Michael Hawkins, 2 carries, 10 yards. Cool. Taylor Tatum, 5 carries, 69 yards, 13.8 per. 1 touchdown. True freshman. That man is not only the future, that man is the now. And that's something that we have to understand. That's something we have to agree with. Like, you saw it, right? You saw it, I saw it. Did you? You had to see it. Anyway, let's continue. Sam Franklin, 4 carries, 45 yards, 11.3 per. Now, what, I think he's a junior or something, so, like, is he a... Sam Franklin, I'm sorry, I don't remember if you were here last year. I know if you were here, there wasn't really any production. I don't know if you're a transfer. I should know these things, but I'm not the guy who, I'm just a fan. Okay. So, but great game regardless. Great game. Do I want to see you playing over Barnes or Sawchuk? hey, I mean, if the production's there, why not? But from what I saw from Barnes, don't get me wrong, he had 5 carries, 33 yards, 6.6 per. But Barnes looked explosive. Barnes looked different out there, man. Like he was running like on a mission. Like, yeah, like I said, he only had 33 yards, but he only had 5 carries. And each time he had the ball, you saw what they were talking about in the offseason. You could tell he had a good offseason. So, do I want to see Sam Franklin over Barnes? I mean, he did more. He did more with his opportunities, but he also probably were playing against backups. I mean, and of course we are playing against Temple. But if we're playing against Temple and Temple has their backups in, what is that saying? You better go crazy. But anyways, I don't think I want to see Sam Franklin over Barnes. I want to see Taylor Tatum as RB1. And I want to see Barnes at number 2, man. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I know Saul Chucky, he didn't have the best game. He might be a little shaken up. Who knows? I'm not sure. But from what I saw, I'm just going off of what I saw on film. And I want Barnes to be that number two bell cow behind Taylor Tatum, man. I don't see why that would be an issue. But, man, overall, 220 total yards, 36 attempts. And this is what I'm talking about with Seth Littrell. 36 rushing attempts. How many times do you think we passed the ball? Hint, hint, I told you earlier. 29. We rushed the ball 7 times more than we passed the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. That is balance. That's what I like to see. That is balance. And the fact that we are running more than we're passing because the rushing was more efficient when it came to, man, eating the clock. The man was using. Round of applause to Seth Littrell, man. I cannot say that enough. Yeah, the offensive numbers aren't going to look good. The Oklahoma community might kind of try to say what they may say about him. But again, nobody's going to talk about the fact that we had good field position all game last game. So the fact that he can figure out a way to get 220 total rushing yards, and then on top of that, have Jackson Arnold with 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, there's no complaints that needs to be made when it comes to that. Now, let's get into the special teams, man. We got 2 more topics after we got 2 more topics, then we're done here. We already going on 30 minutes, so I'm not trying to, like I said before, it's going to be a long video. But special teams, man. Kyler Keltner, man, 3 for 3. 50 yards as long as 6 for 6, extra points, 100%. We have a kicker, Oklahoma. We have a kicker. And it don't matter who you play against. You can play against Temple. You could play against Georgia. You could play against the freaking Kansas City Chiefs. One thing that ain't going to change nothing is the fact that that kicker can kick it through the field goal. And if you know us as Oklahoma, you know that if that man would have missed one of them, he would have been the talk of the town. And guess what? The fact that he had that pressure on him every single time he kicked the ball and knocked it through 100%. Come on, bro. We have a kicker. Lock it in, Tyler Keltner. We're going to have to come up with a cool kicking name for him. That way that they can understand that we're behind him. Great job, Keltner. Tyler Keltner, I'm sorry. Great job. And then I covered it earlier. Jaren Kanak, touchdown, man. Special teams touchdown. When was the last time we saw a special teams touchdown? I can't remember it. Maybe it was recent, but I don't remember ever. I can't remember the last time I saw a special teams touchdown, and especially on the defensive end. Come on, bro. So special teams, great day overall. Again, that offense, the defense, special teams, when you look at all 3 levels, great game. There's only one question mark, man, and this is where we get into the negatives. So we all saw that O-line. We all came into the game understanding that The O-line could be an issue for us this year. Rebuilt O-line. Everybody's a new starter this year. From top to bottom, that is a brand new offensive line. And damn it, you could tell. I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, it's hard to say that when you got 220 yards rushing on the day, but I did not see any interior push at all from that. I mean, I would say the tackles did okay. I mean, and I'm not a lineman, guys. Again, I'm just watching the film. I'm just watching it one time, and this is what I'm catching. So I might be wrong here. I may be wrong. But to me, it looked like the issues came mainly from the interior. It looked like we couldn't get any push on the interior. And then, and you have to take into consideration that we did lose our center. I think he's questionable. I don't think it's something like Jalil Farouk where he's out for like 6 to 8 weeks. It's not like that, but hopefully it's not like that, because we need our center back. Believe me. But I just wasn't impressed with that line, man. I mean, like I said, no interior push. Starting center got hurt. What did Jackson Arnold? How many sacks did he get sacked? I think he got sacked maybe like a couple times. I don't have that. I don't know why I didn't write that down, but he had a few sacks, man. I don't think the Temple was a team though that should got any type of pressure on Jackson Arnold. So, I mean, put 2 and 2 together. If Temple is getting pressure on Jackson Arnold, what does that mean for the rest of the SEC? We got to get it figured out. And we got 2 more games to figure it out. Because once Temple comes into, I mean, once Tennessee comes into town with Lil Nico, yeah, we got to figure that out ASAP. Because I'm really not trying to get into the SEC and take a L our first game. I really don't want that to happen. So let's not do that, and let's figure this offensive line out, man. What we need for that offensive line is, and I don't know why this isn't a thing. It needs to be a thing. But this offseason, and of course this is something that, I mean, you can implement this now. I mean, you're recruiting at all times. That defense was the defensive line going into the recruiting of last year. That pipeline or that power line, what was it called? It was called the power line or something like that. Like, that shit mattered. You know, like that was something that the players could it was a what's the word, man? It's like it was something they could get behind, you know? Like, it was something that join the power line, come to Oklahoma, be a part of the power line. And then you can have that image of everybody who's committed, be a part of it. Like, that type of shit gets you hyped for real, you know? And why don't we have that for the offensive side? Like, we can literally copy and paste that same strategy to our offensive line. Now, don't get me wrong. We're getting some good offensive recruits when it comes to that line. So I'm not saying what we're doing isn't working, but I'm saying it could be so much more efficient. And that's part of my job. Like, one thing I do at work is, like, my job is to pretty much find the most efficient way to do the thing. That would be a very efficient way to pretty much, similar to how Texas, look at Texas. Like, Texas did it. Whenever Sark was like, look, we need to rebuild this offensive line, he focused on that offensive line the same way we focused on the defensive line last year. And you see them boys, they are balling. They're all about to go to the league next year probably. So, man, if we can just simply copy and paste that power line from the defensive side to the offensive side, get that social media gun running, we're going to be great. With Bill Bedenbaugh, come on, man. I mean, come on. He's doing it with 3 stars. So if we can get a class of 4 or 5 stars for each position, what you think Bill gonna do with that? That's like giving a crackhead a rock. He gonna smoke it. I mean, you know what's gonna happen. That's facts though. That's facts. He gonna smoke it. Like Bill Bedenbaugh is going to go crazy with the recruits that are 4 or 5 stars like that. I mean, he's doing it already. Like I said, with lesser. Give the man more, man. Let's give that man something that the recruits can stand behind, that they could be like, we need to go to Oklahoma. We need to be a part of the power line in Oklahoma. They did it on defense. Look at what the defense is looking like. Look at that defensive line. Look at the power line on the defense. Now we're trying to do that on offense this year. This recruiting cycle, we're trying to recreate that, what we did on defense, on offense. That's what we need, man. We need that. We need to do that. But at the end of the day, in Bill, we trust. In Bill, we trust. Like I said, we're even without the whole power line stuff, if they were to never do anything like that, at the end of the day, in Bill, we trust. So, the O-line overall, man, just 3 sacks. I do have it written down. Boom, right here. 3 sacks. Not good, man. Temple should not be sacking at Jackson Arnold or anybody on our team. But yeah, man, outside of that, now this is something that really pissed me off watching this game. I don't know if this is a Seth Littrell issue. I don't know if this is just a execution issue, play call. I don't know, but we can't go 1 and 12 in 3rd down conversions. That's not something we can do. If you think that we can survive in the SEC going 1 out of 12 3rd down conversions, you might as well hit that crack right with the dude, because hey, it's not gonna happen. We are not going to be worth that margin, that 7.5 margin that they gave us, that win-loss. That is going to be true if we cannot convert on 3rd down on offense. So that needs to be changed. We need to figure that out. That's something that definitely needs to be focused on. And a lot of that has to do with what happens on 1st and 2nd down. So, I mean, that's something that we really got to get figured out. Another thing outside of conversions, man, 7 penalties, 62 yards. I mean, I know we're playing Temple, guys. I know we're going to win this game. Penalties are not going to harm us as much as they would harm us going against, like I keep talking about, Tennessee. But we better figure that out, too. We better figure that out, because we can't go 7 penalties. That's one thing I noticed about these Brent Venables teams. It seems like the penalties just kill us. We get penalized so much, that discipline, which you would think that we would have so much discipline as a football team, because they're very disciplined young men out there. But, man, it's just the dumb penalties, man. We got to get rid of that. That's 62 yards negative against us, man. That's not good. It don't matter who you're talking about. That's not good for anybody. But anyways, man, so outside of that, again, like I said, Jalil Farouk, man, broken foot. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. We're going to miss him. I know we're kind of banged up at the wide receiver position. Luckily, we're loaded at that position. So if any position were to get banged up, that would be the one. So, I mean, that's a blessing in a way, a gift and a curse in a way, I guess. But, yeah, man, last 2 things when it comes to the negative side is Sawchuk and Thompson, man. 6 carries, 15 yards, 2.5 yards per carry, no touchdowns. Sawchuk, you're better than that. Going to, like I said, unless you were injured, unless there was some type of, unless that was a problem, you're better than that. You're better than 2.5 carries per. And I get we're gonna have bad games. I don't think we should throw Sawchuk away. Like I said, I do want Taylor Tatum at the moment to be a starter with Barnes backing him up, which does seem like throw Sawchuk away. But just because y'all want that, don't mean that I think that's what we should do. Like, I really do feel like we should give Sawchuk another chance. Give him the next 2 games. Keep that rotation heavy at that position to see who got the hot hand. Again, no DeMarco Murray. So he didn't have any input on, the subs, who was playing, who got the play time. So hopefully that doesn't affect anything either, because I actually did like seeing the variety that we had at the running back position. I really would have liked to see that young, I don't remember seeing that young bull who came in with Tatum. But yeah, man. Gotta do better than that, man. 6 carries, like I said, 2.5 yards per. We have so much expectations for you here, Sawchuk, and we know you can. We know you can do it. We've seen you do it. But we could just chalk it up to a bad game. I mean, it was just a bad game. It is what it is. And then Brendan Thompson, man, you had a couple key drops, a couple penalties. We got to clean that stuff up, man. We know you're the fastest guy on the field, but you got to catch the ball first before you start going. When it's 3rd down and you run a freaking it's 3rd and 5 and you run a 4-yard drag route, extend that to the extra yard. Or even if you had the 1st down, you just juke to the inside. We got to be smarter than that, man. We got to know where we are on the field. We got to know what the situation is on the field, because that was a 3 and out, I believe, unless we converted. I don't know if we did convert like 4th down, so that might have been one of those. But we should never put ourselves in that position to have to convert that, because I guarantee you in the SEC, you are not going 4 for 4 in fourth down conversions. Like, not happening in that league. But yeah, man, that's all I got for you, man. It's been 40 minutes. Like I said, it's going to be a long one. No cuts, no edits. I don't have any of my equipment right now. I'm not at home. I'm not at the Oklahoma Corona, so we got to get it right. We got to get it right. We got to get the content out, because that's what we do, and I'm not going to let nothing stop me. I ain't going to let nothing hold me back. So it is what it is, you feel me? But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoy, man. This is the first episode of Oklahoma Overview. Every Sunday, I'm going to get a time, like once I can get more consistency in life, when it comes to like my living situation, I'll be able to, probably be more consistent with the time that this type of stuff will drop. But as of now, man, we're just going to stick to every Sunday. We're still going to do What the Wednesdays, just to cover what we learned, what we could do better. Pretty much similar to what we did with this game, but it kind of merges this game with next week's game against Houston. And then, Friday, I'll go ahead and drop my prediction video, or my my review for the game, the Houston game. And then we'll keep doing it that way, man. 3 videos a week for the rest of the year. Of course, we might have, some little miscellaneous videos in there if some stuff happens, just some updates on the team, whatnot, that may happen. But for sure, we're going to commit to 3 videos this year, or this each week. Just simply going from one game to the next, man. Breaking down what I believe is going to happen on a Friday, recap what happened on a Sunday, then merge the 2 from last game to this game, or to the next game on Wednesdays. And like I said, man, miscellaneous stuff, all that in between. But yeah, I want to thank y'all, man, for tuning in. Like I said before, like, share, subscribe. Go in that comments, man. Hit the link in the description. I got a couple different links that you can donate to the channel if you feel the need to. Anything helps, man, at this point. But yeah, that's all I got for you, man. Y'all keep your heads up out there. Be nice to people, and do you, man, because it's in your DNA to be the best version of yourself. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.